Welcome back to the Daily Chos. For our final episode, we're going to delve deeper into the issues we have touched on in our last few episodes as we transition from the indoor gym to the outdoor crag.
In order to offer our lands the respect and protection they deserve, we must begin by acting locally. One actionable step to regain agency over conservation is to get involved in outdoor recreational activities, but more specifically, get involved in rock climbing. Climbing is an activity that is inherently dependent on conservation of land and its sustainable use. Climbing has a vast array of benefits, but perhaps the most important is that those involved become highly motivated to protect our outdoor spaces. By welcoming new climbers into the fold, we expand the number of stakeholders who advocate for environmental conservation in the United States.
To give you all a better idea of what we've been talking about in our vlog, we decided to go to Muir Valley, a popular climbing destination in Red River Gorge.
Welcome to Muir Valley!
The trails here are carefully maintained and established, protective gear on the climbing route is frequently checked to ensure that they meet safety standards, and the routes are clearly labeled with metal tags so that climbers know what they are getting into. Muir Valley is a shining example of what sustainable rock climbing can be.
Speaking of sustainable rock climbing, we made sure to follow the sustainable rock climbing practices that I talked about in my episode when we were climbing in Muir Valley. For example, notice how we made sure to follow the winding trail to the climbing areas instead of cutting the path short. This is to avoid increasing the rate of erosion of the trail so that we can protect the land and ensure these trails are well maintained for future use. We also used gear from sustainable rock climbing businesses like Black Diamond, a brand that is known for its land conservation efforts. Finally, we made sure to practice leave no trace tactics, leaving the crag cleaner than when we found it. It is important to note that while we can give you tips for sustainable rock climbing, it is really up to you, the climber, to get involved and put these tactics into practice to maintain the integrity and ethics of rock climbing that make it such a special sport.
While we were climbing, we met climbers from all over the U.S. who had traveled to Kentucky to enjoy its world-renowned climbing areas. This is testimony to the fact that getting a wider audience involved in rock climbing leads to the sustained protection and maintenance of natural lands. These people really care about the land, as they have personal stakes in making sure it can be used by outdoor recreationalists for years to come. Therefore, it is important that we educate new and old climbers alike on ways that they can get more involved in efforts to protect climbing areas in Red River Gorge. One way to do this is to join and support the Red River Gorge Climbing Coalition.
Formed in 1996 by Shannon Stewart Smith and Chris Snyder, the Red River Gorge Climbing Coalition, or the RRGCC, acts to protect and maintain Kentucky's outdoor climbing spaces while educating new and visiting climbers and hikers. They've guided visitors through the forest of Kentucky and work closely with the U.S. Forest Service leadership. They also work with a fellow outdoor conservation group called Access Fund.
Another way to increase the number of stakeholders in this issue is to expose new climbers to outdoor rock climbing in climbing havens like Red River Gorge. Let's hear from Anna and Linda on what it was like to climb outside as new rock climbers.
This is my second time outdoor rock climbing. I like the experience of climbing outdoors better because you're outside in nature. I think it's great. I'm having a wonderful time.
Our trip to Muir Valley was my first time exploring outdoor climbing. As a new climber who didn't even personally own a harness, I was anxious, but the destination and the community present there quickly eased my nervousness. In the few hours we spent there, I picked up new skills and sustainable habits. It is clear that every member of the Gorge community cares about keeping their space in the best condition that they can. Actually being out there and experiencing outdoor recreation firsthand was a steep, yet highly beneficial learning curve. Delving into something new can seem intimidating, but outdoor recreation combines fun, physical activity, and environmental awareness with a wonderful community. I can't wait to go back.
Rock climbing is a unique yet practical way to support efforts to conserve natural lands. What better way to fight for environmental sustainability than to get involved in a community that values the land so much so that it is centered around a sport that relies on the sustainable use and maintenance of the land? So find ways to get involved with rock climbing in your communities so that you are more equipped to climb the mountain to environmental sustainability.
Bye, Muir Valley!
That's it!